Hey folks, good morning. It's a beautiful rainy day today, just another day in paradise. So, it's been a while since I posted, and I wanted to think about something the last few weeks about communication. In the last few weeks, I was talking to a couple of people, and what really is interesting is that we are so hypercritical about communication with with other individuals, but we forget that in our own sense of mind, we also lack communication when it comes to certain dialogues or aspect of conversation. So something came up a few days ago, and I posted it on Facebook. Do we lack the ability to ask questions? When I was growing up, my grandmother, who was an educator, emphasized that people need to ask a lot of questions. That's the only way to better ourselves as a community, as a society, as a whole, as people. And as we grew up, I noticed and I realized individuals I knew or I know tends to ask less and less questions. One of my friends said it best. My mindset when it came to asking questions, when it comes to asking questions, I tend to act like a child. I ask questions like what a 3-year old would ask, a 4-year old would ask, any kid would ask who's curious about the world. The problem with asking questions today is that people don't ask relevant questions that is functional to the aspect of what it's what's the subject matter is about. People are afraid to ask relevant and hardline questions. It's not about the type of questions that's being asked. It's the way it's asked and how it impact individuals in the way it's being asked. Certain subject matters are still taboo that people are not willing to ask those questions. One of the things that I always emphasize with other people when asking questions, ask like if you were still a 2-year old, a 3-year old, a 4-year old, a 5-year old, a 6-year old. Let your curiosity and reality of the situation ask those certain questions. So my question is it really hard for people to ask questions? And the idea of asking questions, is it that hard, or is it people fear asking questions that is so monumental in some ways that people just stop asking questions about things that they should be curious to know or should be able to ask? Because today I see too many people unwilling to ask the right questions, and if they're asking the questions, they're getting answers that is so off the air that I want to know where they get the response from. The answers, there's not it's not based on evidence, it's not based on concrete verified information. And I see too many people who are too relaxed to say, hey, that's all. That's all I know, or or don't answer at all. Good example. I had a little girl one day asked her parents about a certain question, and the mother says, you're a 6-year old just asked a question, and you tell her you know. I hear that too many times because adults are so fearful to be honest that they don't know the answer. So that's one. Second, they don't want to answer. That's two. The third is they're unwilling to find out the answers themselves. Those are conscript of a chance of a possibility you creating people who are able to provide no ideal sense of reason. So when you ask a question, be honest if you know it or not. And if you don't know it, you should find out the answer and help yourself grow and learn more. And if you don't know the answer and your son, your daughter, your niece, your grandchild is asking, go back and tell her, hey, or tell them, hey, this is the answer, because you want them to be curious. You want them to ask a lot of questions. So that's the point I've been telling for years. The people seems to be more and more scared to ask questions, and if they're asking questions, people are not willing to give them honest answers. That they should be able to go back and say, hey, I don't know the answer, but I'll come back to you and give you the answer. That is the right way to ask questions and to get response back. What do you think? Are people unable to ask the right questions, and are people just settling down and getting answers just because they don't want to wait for the answer? They just, whatever the person tells them, they'll say, okay, that's cool. To me, it's not. That's negligence on both sides. So what do you think? Is asking a question becoming an issue that no one seems to really reflect on? So you take care, you stay safe, and of course, have a nice day.